Welcome back to another episode from Season 2 of Rough Sketch to Final Draft, Episode 2. I am your coach, Coach Adam, and we are visited here by the amazing Coach Cindy, the transformational coach of Denmark. She is absolutely incredible. She was kind enough to return to our humble podcast here as we kick off Season 2. And as we go down the list, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been a part of Season 1. Season 1 was filled with 10 episodes. It was absolutely a phenomenal journey. And backed by incredible request, I wanted to bring Coach Cindy back on with us. And at the same time, to keep on going with the podcast. Your voices are heard, my beautiful family, and we are building this incredible community, and we are going and thriving. With that, as we move into today's topic, Coach Cindy and myself are basically one and the same. I think that we really genuinely do align and synchronize on quite a bit. And today's topic is going to be about coaching and the future of where coaching is going. And I wanted to bring her on today to have a really great discussion on where we think that things are going to go, wrap up our beautiful 2023, and set up a possibility for the future of 2024. With that, let me go ahead and pass it off to the amazing Coach Cindy and allow her to tell us some of the things that she's got in the pipeline, some of the things that she's got coming in the near future, and some of the things that she's working on. So, Cindy, go ahead and introduce yourself and let us know what's going on in your world.
Thank you so much, Adam, and thank you for inviting me back. It was an absolute pleasure last time, even though we ended up having a very, very candid conversation about some very heavy topics.
Yes.
And I am so thankful and grateful for all the messages I've received from all over the world, from the community and people who are reaching out and saying, thank you so much for your courage. And it really resonated with me. And thank you so much for speaking up about whatever happens to me as a woman and as a person, because we know that the things we discussed last time also happen to men. So it's not all women. Yeah. So I'm so thankful for those messages. So keep them coming and I'll do my best to answer them all.
Absolutely.
Well, what do I have in the pipeline? First of all, I am based in Denmark, as Adam just said. I have been a coach for 3 or 4 years now. I am basic trained as a transformative coach to do the transformative conversation. On top of that, I dug into the Enneagram, for those of you who know what that one is, which is a figure with 9 personality types where you can really easily dig into a very deep conversation with your coaching client and figure out what's going on. I've also done some accountability coaching, and at the moment and within the next 2 weeks or something, I am going to be certified as a positive intelligence coach, which is just up Adam and my alley. I'm still persuading him how to come with me on this adventure, because this is just his thing. It's all about transforming any kind of challenge we're met with into a gift, and seeing the beautiful in it and learning from it. So this is really something that is going to be amazing. And the teacher is all about the importance of coaches in the world right now, and how important the positive mindset is in general. And he's not talking about war in different parts of the world right now. In my part of the world, we have the one in Ukraine, and we also have one in Palestine and all that. So it's just on the border of Europe with that one. It still affects us here, just as it does the rest of the world. So he's not talking about that. He's talking about us lifting ourselves and lifting our community up from the lowest level that we're at as a community, so we can help more people. So he's really into the whole coaching thing and just trying to lift us all up to the next level and having us go back and say, hey, what was I like as a kid? My happy-go-lucky state of mind. Can I dig that up again? Can I be more like that in everyday life? So it's super exciting. And I'm still writing on my book. It's not something that just magically writes overnight, even though we do have ChatGPT now. I'm trying to actually do it on my own here.
There we go.
Yeah, and I got an assistant, and we're trying to set up a podcast. So I haven't decided on a name yet, so maybe you guys should help me figure out what it should be.
There we go. Leave a comment down below. Yeah. Send a comment
Yeah,
to Coach
please leave a
Cindy on what
comment
you
down below.
think.
Please leave a comment down below. And if you could kind of something with pink or something that might be great, that be just up my thing.
Okay.
So yeah.
There we go. The pink
Um,
phoenix. Something
yeah.
else like that. Yes.
And the
There we go.
Phoenix, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Keep it on
So
brand.
yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. Yeah. So,
Mm-hmm.
fam, keep in touch. Coach Cindy is amazing. She loves your comments. We know that we love her as a beautiful community. I've got your messages. Over 350 responded last time that we were on our show together. And I'll do a better job of it this time. When we get the responses back, I will forward them over to you. So it was a flood. They absolutely
Okay.
loved you. They thought that what you shared and how vulnerable and transparent, authentic and genuine you were was
Oh,
moving. They resonated with you and they love you. So, yes, you are
oh,
back by this man's popular demand and by the community's popular demand, most definitely. And you are a welcome guest here at any
wonderful.
time. Yes. So, with that all being said, stay tuned for her beautiful podcast and the growth of her incredible career because it is on the rise, absolutely. And we will be here to watch with
Yes.
tender hearts and open arms in the Coach Adam world, I promise. So you've made a friend for life.
Oh,
Let's
I'm glad.
transition. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's
Yeah.
transition right there because that was a great spot with where you're working with the coaching and what is going on. And in that sphere, we really are, certainly here in the community of the Coach Adam Rough Sketch of Final Draft, doing our absolute humble best and the best of our humble abilities to always create a community that is healing and open for that healing and holding space for individuals to be able to work through their challenging spots in life and to understand that the world is the real world. It is out there, absolutely. At the same time, we need to make space for ourselves in our creative space, in our healing space that has to be separated from what the reality is outside to be able to allow ourselves to heal. As an analogy for the audience to understand what I mean, that is, if you're healing, it's best when you're doing it in a hospital room than it is, out working. If you have a bad back, you should go lay down in the bedroom. You need to be somewhere apart from that. Where do you see the future of coaching then as you're moving towards this? Where do you see the future of coaching for 2024 moving into for a sphere of healing, coaching, motivation, and those three topics? So coaching, healing, and motivation. Where do you see the future of coaching going?
I think as we all of our viewers and listeners here, I'm pretty sure they know all the big coaches that we see all the
Yeah.
time. Tony
Yeah.
Robbins, Mel Robbins, Brenda Bouchard, Jay Shetty, who else do I have in my pocket? I have a Danish woman called Pernille.
Ooh,
She is actually the Danish version of Debbie Ford, which you
okay.
guys most likely know, who did the whole shadow process before she died.
Gotcha.
And I see that the vibe from the European side of it is
Mm,
definitely that we're moving away from the whole health coach thing, that you only go to a coach if you have to do a weight loss or specific training, or if you're training towards a specific goal like you are with your competitions. That
right.
is used to be the way we thought about coaching here, but
Yeah.
now it's more like, oh, I can go to a coach instead of going to a psychologist. I don't have to do the clinical way. I can
Right.
do it more easy, I can do it more hands on, I can be much more action
Mm,
and faster results and even sustainable results. So that's definitely what I'm feeling from my spot, is that
yeah.
people are coming to me with a much more wide variety of
Mm,
things. It's not just the trauma from transformation part of it. It's very much, as I have been leaning more into the positivity thing, and as I texted you earlier today, I said I am the positivity fairy.
that's right.
Um, that is what people are starting to nickname me, because I do
Yes.
come with this energy bubble around me, and they can have whatever they want, and I will try my best to be a cheerleader for them in any situation. So I sense that people are coming to me for not lightness,
Mm,
but something that is easier to grasp and something that is kind of touchable,
mm,
if that makes sense. Something
tangible.
tangible that they can
Yeah.
actually, reach out and touch, even though it's through a screen or something.
I'm with
They're
you.
looking for not an easy, not, a quick fix,
Yeah.
but we all know that the mind is looking for a quick fix, no matter how we twist it.
Right.
So I definitely sense that there's a need for more positivity. Um,
Amen
yeah,
to that. Amen to that. There we go. And trademark pending, by the way, out there to the audience of the positivity fairy. So that's definitely going to be Coach Cindy's.
I
Can't take
have
that
no
away.
idea if it's taken already, but yeah,
We have
but
merch on its way. It's coming. But I think what you
good.
say is absolutely correct. We're touching on some real truths about the fact of where the industry is with leaders of like Brendan Burchard's, Dale Carnegie, Stephen Covey's, Tony Robbins, Mel Robbins. Um,
Yeah.
and the shadow work is incredible, especially as well by that wonderful woman who has done such work in the sense of really revealing that the growth is actually in the ancillary of our lives, not necessarily always the bullseye. The ancillary are all the
Yeah.
numbers on the outside of that, but at the same time, it really does hone in on if you do the work on the shadow, that actually reveals the light that's left. That's the point. And I think that's one of the things too that I would love to share for our audience and their growth now is that whenever you see the Instagram reels and TikTok reels and talking about doing the shadow work and so on and so forth, the aim is to find the light. It's when you understand that if you go into your home, your heart, and if you're seeing me on the video, you're seeing that I'm pointing to my chest. If you're on the audio, I'm pointing to my chest. That when you're doing the inner work, there's light
Mm,
and darkness. So we're a mix of all of it, right? We're positive. We've got the negativity. We've got the reality. We've got the idealism. It's all there mixed in and coalesced together in this
mm,
beautiful soup pot that we call life and our personalities and our character. And it's an ever changing, ever growing experience. And in that sense, when we want to actually do the shadow work, it's not that we're negating the light. It's not that you become negative. I
mm,
think there's also sometimes become a stigma, right? In this whole entire kind of Gothic X style type of music and things like that that are played over these Instagram videos and TikTok videos where it's like we're doing the shadow work and we're here
yeah.
to do this, and it's like, well, yes, and it's because it's a mix, right? And if you do the shadow work,
Mm,
the light is left over. When people only work on the light, they aren't addressing the shadow, and they're going to be
no.
constantly reattacked by their shadows. So there's a beautiful harmony in that regard that really is the full picture. And
Yeah.
one of the things that Coach Cindy and I love to do is make sure that we're taking care of all angles. We don't want to leave anything left on the table. It's one of the reasons why I love
No.
her and her work and what she does. She makes sure that she's covering all bases. So
I in my world, I used to tell my clients that think of your personality as a
yeah,
castle with
mm,
all these rooms and all these floors and stuff. And there's a lot of closed doors. You need to
yeah,
go in and you need to open each door. And
yeah,
you just need to stick your nose in there and see, oh, what's in there? Oh,
mm,
that was my jealousy. Okay, it's not a nice one, but I need to let some light in to
yeah,
turn that negative side into something positive. So that's exactly what Adam's talking about here, shedding light on all of our shadows
right,
to make it even more useful in our everyday life. And
right,
again, that goes it resonates so much with positive intelligence because we all have these saboteurs in our life. We all have a
mm,
judge in our mind that says, oh, you did a bad job there. Oh, you could have done better. Oh, your mom said, oh, I predicted this one. Hey, 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 you need to start to learn how to weaken that voice in your head. I heard a woman say it's called shit FM. Yes, it
mm.
is shit FM. It's a bad
Wow,
station. You need to
I like
change it.
that.
Um, so that is what we do with positive intelligence, and the way you and me, when we coach, is what we do. We take that mind shift and take it from a negative into a positive. So
Mm,
we leave the client feeling like they're winning instead of losing.
absolutely,
um because we can't it's we have been taught as a coach that it's unethical to leave them at a bad place when we shut down a session, so we
right.
always learn how to wrap it up and turn it around. But I'm not saying that we should neglect any of the negative at all. We should
Mm,
definitely poke at it, and we should see it, and we should turn it around. Maybe it's actually good on the other side. It just needed to be dusted off or nurtured a bit. Maybe it's a flower trying to come out through the soil. Maybe it's not rotten. So there's something good in everything.
I love that, and the fact that there's always going to be the gold underneath the mud in that regard.
Yeah,
It just maybe it's neglect, maybe it's just absent-mindedness, and maybe it legitimately is in their blind spots, right? It's in the
yeah,
unawareness of their lives right now. It's not that it isn't good already. It's just
yeah,
if you got into a semi truck tomorrow and you were expected to drive 1,000 miles, it'd be kind of challenging. There might be some gears and shifts and knobs and buttons and things like that you don't necessarily recognize that aren't in your normal standard Honda vehicle, type of Saab-esque type car. A huge semi-truck, 12-wheeler, has a lot more knobs and
Yeah.
buttons in there. But if you don't know what they are, it doesn't mean that they don't work. To our point, I'm using an analogy to
Okay.
help you understand out there, right? It's like it just says you don't know how to use it yet because you didn't even know that it was there. And coaches do a great job. Our job is, if we do a good job at it or not, I believe we do, we're humbly trying, is to help you find those tools, those gears to shift yourself into, and to give you a quick crash course to reintroduce you and to give you an introduction on how to use these things. And that's our job.
Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly. Well, with that, with the idea about neglect, is there something in the coaching sphere that we as coaches may think that has been neglected in the future might be brought into the light, into the foreground, moving forward for 2024 and kind of the future of where coaching is going? Hence, that's kind of the whole entire bringing our topic of conversation into today to keep our audience on a train track here that's going forward. Has there been anything that we want to bring up that maybe we have seen that has grown in the time that we've been in it, um, in the coaching world, that we think that will benefit and is going to grow in the coming years to unveil itself in 2024 and beyond? Is there anything that we're excited about?
Oh, there's a lot to be excited about as a coach. I'm actually super excited about that. I am seeing a lot more guys show up wanting to work with me.
Hmm.
Um, I am seeing a lot more of the men coming out of their shell trying to embrace their emotions and whatever they're struggling with, actually trying to be more verbal about
Hmm.
how they feel and what they're
Yeah.
struggling with. Um, and they don't always want to go talk to a guy. Sometimes I think
True.
they look for me because they hope I might be able to give them some insights into the female mindset so they
Hmm.
can have like a quick fix or an easy way to their spouse at home or something.
Right.
But often I find it that it seems that the guys they're having their own revolution at the moment. They're starting to rebel and come out of their shell and be more verbal about it and
Hmm.
say, it's okay for me to be sad. It's okay for me to be stressed. It's okay that I find my work hard or I'm stuck in my work. Am I supposed to be in this job for the next 30 years?
Hmm.
No, who do I talk to? I don't only go to the pub for a beer with the guys after work
Yeah.
and just say, "Oh, how's it going at work? It's going fine. Okay, good." And then they go separate ways. I don't sense that anymore. I sense the guys are wanting their own coaches. They're wanting their own ways to solve things. So I sense that there's a change coming in with the waves here. And I kind of like it. I kind of like the fact that they're trying to move in on the females' side of territory here in the coaching world. But
All
how about
right.
you, Adam? What have you been experiencing so far?
Well, quick pause. Shout out to the guys. Cindy, Coach Cindy is correct. Absolutely. Keep it going, gentlemen. Keep it gentle. And anyone on my side of it as well that it's jumping in here, keep growing. I know for a fact that she's absolutely correct. I have seen you in the community, fam. I really, really have. A lot of them will reach out through DMs versus just leaving comments on photos. So
Mm,
you are seen, and I see you all, fam. You are heard, and I hear you. So, and so does Coach Cindy. That is great. That is fantastic.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
what do I see? I see the future of connectivity being so much more rapid and intimate in a genuine sense. It's one of the things that resonates with
yeah,
me, with you, with the coaches that I've brought on to the podcast thus far. It's one of the biggest things that I acknowledge in you and respect in you so much is how authentic and your authenticity and your vulnerability that you always bring forward. You are the genuine
mm,
article in that regard. And I think that technology a long time ago, as we're on this topic of what is moving forward, hindered us from being that. If you're
yeah,
on, the phone kind of a thing, and you've got, as I'm putting my hand up to my ear for anyone that's listening, it's harder to be that authentic self. You can hear the authenticity through the voice, but at the same time, with virtual abilities, it makes it so much more real. We're in a room. You get a chance to see us just like you see us right now on YouTube as you're watching us. If you're on Spotify or podcast, come watch on YouTube, like and subscribe and comment. I have to get better at saying that more often. So, and leave us a comment down below. But at the same time, it really does allow it to be personalized. You get a chance to see the expressions on Coach Cindy's face. When you say something that means something, you feel her presence literally be with you. That allows it to be more authentic, allows it to be a healing experience that when someone is in their healing space and they need a coach, right? They're in that area where they're actually being vulnerable finally, and someone is being safe for them to feel. Those emotional cues of someone being able to read the body language, seeing the eye flutters, seeing the eye contact or lack thereof, allows that person to finally work through their traumas, work through their pains by having someone acknowledge them. Over the phone is tough. Through an email is tough, right? And shout out to anyone who's actually really doing the work, and anyone who's also in the other sphere where they're still working through emails and just voice conversations. It might be a chance, an opportunity to think about how to grow your business, to download Zoom. It's easy. It's reasonably cheap these days. And maybe getting an app or doing something else that's allowing you to interface with individuals, because this kind of thing that Coach Cindy and I are doing even right now is powerful. I've even had people watch the YouTube video that we had a conversation on before. I'll link it here at this point in time in the video for you guys to go back and watch. People say that they've watched it 3 or 4 times, literally just because they got a chance to actually feel while they were watching it. And they connected with Coach Cindy and her message, and being able to literally allow themselves to feel like they got the healing that they would have gotten if they would have sat down with a therapist, to Cindy's point.
And I think that it's maybe it's important for them to actually go back and watch that episode and then come back to this one again, because that will really solidify the trauma from the transformation from the trauma to today and the positive change I've made and
That's right.
how much impact it's had on my mind. Because if I had not been the positivity fairy, I don't know where I would have been today. I had, as I said last time, I had help from a hypnotherapist who took me out of my very, very, very sore spot with my trauma, and it did wonders for me, and it probably literally saved my life at the time. And it also made me realize that my calling in life was to help other people see the light, despite being buried, that they're not being buried, they've been planted. They're a seed. They're supposed to bloom. We need to water them just like a flower and make sure they have sunshine and happy words. And you guys probably all know Mythbusters. And they actually did a test at some point with 2 greenhouses and plants, where one had listened to heavy metal and negative songs. The other one was having happy tunes played to them. And they would go in and only speak happy things in the happy tent and negative things in the other one. And it actually turned out that the happy greenhouse was thriving better. It was plants, people. It was crazy, but it was so literal that we survive better and thrive better on positive energy. So, and we all know it, that we are drawn to people like Adam and myself because there are positivity around us, even though it might be heavy topics that we bring up. And Adam got me in when he started saying this whole thing about you're worth it, know your worth. And that hit home with me. And that just drew me in. And I'm like, hey, I need to know more, because somehow he knows what I'm feeling. And I had to figure out what that was all about. So I am, as you can see on my face, for those of you watching this, I am very, very expressional in what I say, and you will know exactly how I'm feeling. If I'm having fun, or if I'm being sad, or if I'm being frustrated with you, you will know by looking at my face. I might be smiling even though I'm yelling at you, but you will see it on my face where I am. And I think that for us as a coach, using our body language and using our tonality, it makes a world of difference to our clients. Some of them we don't see. Some of them we only hear over the phone or whatever it might be kind of setup we do. So you're absolutely right. The technological wonders that we have today is making everything so easy, and the connectivity. We
Yeah.
are all trying to find these friendships with
Yeah.
the salesperson on the other side of the counter, with our doctor, with the golf trainer, whoever it
Mm.
might be. We're actually
Yeah.
trying to connect with them to make a new friend on a subconscious level. So I
True.
definitely see what you're saying, Adam. Connectivity is going to
Yeah.
be a major thing the next few years. And maybe it's because of COVID and lockdown.
Right.
Maybe we're kind of, okay, we need this. I have done
Yeah.
the whole lockdown. I have done the whole solitude thing. I need
Yeah.
people in my life.
Right.
Maybe that's it. And
Yes.
maybe we're fearing another round will come around, but I don't know. But
I know.
yeah,
I know. Right. We need to recharge our connectivity batteries with other individuals.
yeah,
We've been depleted. Let's
we've
just put
been
it that way,
depleted.
in a loving way. We've been cut off, right? We wanted
Yeah,
some more humanity, and we haven't been able to get that as much. And interfacing this way, it's
exactly.
also, here's the other point to it, audience, as you guys are listening. It's safe, right? Like literally, I know that where I'm at is okay, and we're getting a chance to do this. It's practicing in that regard for reality, and it allows you to just kind of get better at being a you before you get out
Yeah.
there. And it allows for a chance with a coach to wrap this one up, and then we'll move into the next topic, is to have a safe environment to stumble, right? In that truest
Mhm.
regard. And that is legitimately one of the brightest and beautiful things about someone like Coach Cindy to be there for any guys who are going to be coming on as well. That is wonderful that you are reaching out to her. Continue to do that. Coach Adam
Yeah.
here, endorsing that and supporting that growth, and encouraging you to keep doing so. You'll be safe in her arms, in her presence, and in a call with her during her time with you, to be able to stumble a little bit, and she'll be there to pick you up. You'll
Yeah.
be held
And
in such a
I think,
right.
how have you, Adam? I'm assuming that when you get a new client on board, they are
Yeah.
probably as nervous as I sense they are in my first time with them,
Yeah.
because they need to trust this whole confidentiality of it,
Correct.
of the entire space around us, of the entire space around the conversation we're having. So once they figure out that this is a safe space, I
Yeah.
can actually say stuff to this person and it won't come back and haunt me.
Correct.
It's not
Yes.
going to be something I can't say to my spouse, but maybe I need to have it said out loud before I go home to my spouse or
Right.
something,
Yes.
regardless of gender and sexualities and stuff. Um, so sometimes I have one that is a wonderful guy, and he is living with his partner of 3 years, another
Oh,
guy, and they have the same profession, very high ambitious doctors.
yeah.
And I am just amazed at how far my clients come over the year, just saying, okay, I seriously have problems with saying these things to my partner. Can you
Yeah.
guide me into how do
Mm,
I do this safe so he's not afraid that I'm leaving him? And I'm like,
right.
okay, sure, we can do that. Practice with me, and I'll let
Yeah.
you know how it resonates with me. And if I
Right.
sense maybe try this and that. So it's been amazing to hear him come back and say, wow, small things, big changes.
Yeah.
It's amazing going to a coach.
Right.
Um, and I think the guys, they are just learning that this coach thing, it's not just for executives.
Right.
It's not just something my company has to pay for.
True.
I can go out and do it, and I will improve my quality of life by doing so, even though I'm
Absolutely.
single.
Right.
You can still get, actually, the singles can get very much more profound and authentic in their way of dating
Mm,
if they have seen a coach, because they will go into connecting with other people in a very different way than they
yeah.
did before, learning
Yeah.
their shadows or about their saboteurs and saying, okay, I come on too strong, maybe I need to reel it back a bit. But if nobody's ever told them that, how are they supposed to know? So talk
Yeah.
to a coach instead of talking to your buddies, maybe, or talking to your female friends or the opposite sex, if that's what it is. Just reach out, talk to somebody if you want to be a better version of yourself. We're
Absolutely.
here. There's a lot
Yeah.
of us here,
Right.
Positive Coach. So, yeah.
as the phrase goes, pick our brains. Right. We have the tips and tricks. We're
Exactly.
happy to share them with you. So,
Yeah,
and we're
exactly.
doing this to help others. Our hearts are always in the right spot. I
Mm.
know that I've said this on season 1 multiple times. I'll say it now for the sake of the audience before we wrap up this episode today, which we've got some time. But remember, we don't have all the answers. Coach Cindy and myself, we're about as
No,
humble as it comes. We are doing our absolute best. We're not doing this for any other reason than we absolutely want to help others. She just mentioned it.
no.
I'm just saying this again for the sake
And
of the
we're
audience.
not perfect. We're not perfect. We stumble, we
No,
fall, we just keep getting up. So,
that's right. That's right. We're here to heal.
yeah.
She said it a second ago. She found that this is a part of her calling. Same here with Coach
Yeah.
Adam and everyone that's in this community. We know that everyone who's in this is here to heal. Though anyone that's new
Yeah.
from YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcasts, just know that you're in a safe environment. You found on the dial radio station, you dialed into the music and the frequency of harmony and humble people. So,
Yeah. I
oh,
like that.
with that, oh, something to add on to that one? No, I saw a face.
No, I just liked it. I was just sitting
Okay.
here thinking about my podcast.
All right. There we go. See, we're
Yeah.
getting ideas as we're going here. Hey, don't forget to leave a comment down below, fam. We got to help out
Yeah.
Coach Cindy with this one. Okay, so in that sense,
Mm.
let's transition into kind of like the last bit of the next like 25 minutes of the episode, and kind of let it just kind of air out in the sense of where we think and where we, let's say this, not just what we think would be best, but also what we would like to see ideally for the coaching world moving forward. What would we like to take place? For ourselves and for our community in the truest sense. And I want to preface this with a safe space for everyone that's listening in that regard too. That we know that, like I said before earlier in the episode, the world is going on. We know that. At the same time, we're here creating a space that is separated from that, allowing you to have somewhere to go that is somewhere that's healing for your mind and your heart and your soul to be. So we're not ignoring any of that stuff, but that isn't necessarily what this podcast is for. If you really want to have a conversation with either Coach Cindy or myself, DM us. We'll have a conversation with you about that all day long. But here in this space on this wonderful podcast, we want to give you some thoughts to leave and to be happy about. So anyhow, where would you like things to go for the coaching world, and what would you see idealistically for yourself and for those who are going to be coaching?
That's a big one, Adam.
It's a
Very
big
big
one.
one.
I know.
Well, ideally for you and me would be that every person in the world had a coach. And as you and I know, a good coach has a coach of their own because we
Amen.
always strive to improve ourselves and the way we coach people and how we connect with
Yep.
people. So I think the ideal world for me would be where there is no taboos. There is
Yeah.
nothing that is off limits, that people don't walk around saying, oh, I can't say that out loud. I can't talk to anyone about that. I want to remove those barriers that we have in our heads
Yeah.
of not being able to speak about something, that something's off limits. Because I guarantee you, there will be a coach somewhere around the world that has that specific topic as their niche. It doesn't matter what it is, if it's parenting, if it's weight loss, if it's trauma, if it's rape survivors, war survivors, whatever it might be, or car wreck survivors, people who had an aneurysm. I don't
Mm.
know. There's going to be a coach for everyone out there. I
Amen.
guarantee it. And if there's not, please let Adam and me know, and we will do our best to find a coach who can start it up, because it might
Absolutely.
not be Adam and me that's experts in these things, but we might know somebody who would be perfect for it.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that for us to let go of the limiting beliefs we have about if we have a certain thing in our life that is troubling, that we need to go see the doctor. We need to go see a clinical psychologist or a psychiatrist or something. We need to remove that if we want to make and maybe a less medicated approach
Mm.
to life moving forward. Because I
Amen.
see a lot of kids in the age of 10 and up that are being medicated and kind of labeled as having ADHD or autism or something
Mm.
that in my book, it might not be the case. It might
Yeah.
just be a misunderstood or neglected kid who needs the right teacher or something else. So I think that we're very quick in my world, at least in my society here in Europe, we're very fast to prescribe medication and say, okay, you might have this diagnosis or take this medication, and then it'll be all better. And I'm like, oh, can we try without the medication
Yeah.
first?
Pause. Yeah.
Can we just
Yeah.
can we do some weightlifting? Can we do
Yeah.
some treadmills?
Sure.
Can we take a walk in the forest? Can we get some
Right.
sunshine? Can we do other things?
Yeah.
So I have done the whole medication thing. You know that I told you about my antidepressant journey and my lithium and everything.
I know.
And I said I can't do this. I'm ruining my organs from within, and I was messing up my mind. So I needed to do it some other way. Of course, there are people out there who need medication
Yeah.
to help them in everyday life,
Right.
but I really really hope that they are critical about for how long do I keep on this dosage? Can we change it? Is there
Yeah.
alternatives? Can we do it the more organic approach, maybe? Healthy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm hoping that we can do it, that we can have more conversation and less medication
Ooh.
moving forward as coaches. Because as a coach, we're not trained to do prescription of any kind. We're not trained to do all that. But
Right.
I think going to a coach might be the trick first before we do the other thing. But that
I
is
love
just
it.
my humble coaching approach to things here.
I love that. I love that. I love that. I know the audience is going to resonate with that. Fam, I hope you really enjoy that. Leave a like for that one for sure. I like the idea about the conversation versus medication. And as an analogy, even from our own lives, I mean, what Coach Cindy has shared with us before is absolutely an incredible journey about just that, from where she was from A to Z. Again, we can't say it enough. Go back to that original video, check it out, and then pause this one, and then come back and see the just amazing transformation, this incredible human soul that I'm getting the opportunity and just honored every time to be humbly speaking to. I love this person. She has such genuine light coming from her all the time. Is the fact that as a visualization, because our audience loves sometimes when we use those analogies for them. I get comments about it all the time. I hear you, fam. Is the fact of I used to do massage therapy when I was younger. I still have my certification in massage therapy, but I was a massage therapist and a personal trainer and a DJ on the weekends when I was going throughout college. So I had an interesting career and a life. But at the office of being a massage therapist, I worked for a chiropractor. And I thought it was always interesting that the massage therapist worked with the chiropractor in that sense. So as an analogy, as a visualization for the sake of this conversation, for the audience listening, and even for Coach Cindy and I's conversation right now to benefit from it, I think what the suggestion is visualization to see is that there should be a connectivity between a life coach with someone in the medical profession. There is someone who you will go see in the same exact type of healing office that is there with someone who is a, actual, genuine, medical, certified in whatever classification. Then there are life coaches who have the certifications there for other modalities as other alternatives, not just go get a pill, not just go get a shot, not just go get the injection, not just go home with a lifetime supply of you need to take 2 of these and call me in the morning. In that regard, there should be other alternative medicines to get back into maybe some of our ancient roots. There's so many other different healing pathologies. There's even things like NLP out there in the world. I'm a certified practitioner in that, neuro-linguistic programming, for anyone who doesn't know what that means. It's basically programming the word with mind, understanding and putting in healing thoughts in there and planting seeds and watching them grow. As a fun visualization for the audience, try not to think about a pink elephant. You're welcome. Now you can't stop. It's one of those things. And NLP is very fun. So if you start working with NLP and a practitioner in that, you can really work through someone who's had an addiction to, like, say, for instance, smoking or drinking or even light drug use. There's severities on a scale of 1 to 100 of where people fall on that side of drug addiction and whether or not it's taken over their ability to regulate serotonin or anything else that in the brain. But if it's at the early stages for something like nicotine and smoking addictions, NLP can get you done with your addiction within 3 sessions, where if you went to a therapist to get done with
I had
smoking,
no
it might
idea
take 3
that it could be
years.
so fast.
Oh yeah. No, it's dramatic. Absolutely dramatic. The results are incredible. So there's so many great opportunities out there in that sense to go for. And what Coach Cindy is even just suggesting I'm resonating with them immediately, and I'm just giving you, the audience, some visualizations and some thought process here to chew on of what she's talking about that exist as other alternatives than just going to our our medical saviors of the world. There are other ways in which we can heal ourselves, and healing in the mind is where it all starts.
I have a very recent example of that, actually, Adam.
Jump in.
At the moment, my dad is in the
Let's do this.
hospital.
Yeah.
My dad is in the middle of cancer treatment. He
Oh my
had
gosh.
cancer during lockdown. They operated and it was all fine. And because we couldn't go with him, we were so distant from it. And it felt like he had been in to, have his spleen removed or something. So it was
Right.
so cut off.
Oh my gosh.
And he called me this summer and he said, hey, they called me and the cancer's back, but it's in two different organs now. It's in my liver and it's in my lung.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have been undergoing treatment with him since early August. He's had 4 operations now, 2 on his liver and 2 on his lungs, either
Mm.
lung. And the one
God.
he had on Thursday was actually a microwave treatment, like a heat treatment they did, 5
Wow.
minutes full anesthetics and just a teeny tiny cord into it and just heating up that little shadow in his lung to killing all these bad cells.
Wow.
And it was supposed to be easy peasy and out.
Yeah.
And my dad is where I got my positivity and my PB attitude from. So he's always making fun with the nurses and being a really good trooper about it.
It's
And
beautiful.
Friday, when I came to see him, he was having a hard time breathing. And
Mm.
at first I couldn't figure out what's going on. Something's wrong.
Yeah.
And he was sitting there trying to breathe, and I could see it in his eyes. I could see the panic that he couldn't get enough air in. And I was like, okay, something's wrong. I'm going to go talk to the nurse. And I told him this. He used to be Mr. Happy Face and joking
Yeah.
with you guys.
Right.
This is not good. This is serious. He's in pain. We need to do something. And my dad actually told me 3 times within 2 hours to pull that cord for the nurses because he needed help. He was in
Oh my.
panic. And I looked at him. I sat in the foot of his bed and I looked at him. I put a hand on him and I said, hey, Dad, listen to the machines around you. Listen to the oxygen. You can hear the machine. Listen to it. It's going in, it's going out, it's working. Trust the machines. You're in the safest space for anything to happen. The machines are working. Listen, focus on your breath. Feel the heat of your breath going in your nose and the change of heat coming out of your breath when it leaves
Mm.
your mouth. And I just did these little, meditative things with him to calm him down. And I just breathed with him and like doing Lamasi,
Right.
at a birthing thing. But my
Right.
dad, he was like, okay, okay, calm down, calm down. And he was doing it with me. And I found out afterwards that his right lung had actually collapsed in front of me while we were completely locked in.
Yeah.
So no wonder he was having pain and having a hard time breathing. But I managed to keep him steady. Both myself, my own panic, and his panic, we managed to keep it steady. Just doing those teeny tiny breath works. Just
Right.
in and out. Focus on this. Feel my fingers on your shoulders. Just, taking his mind off the thing that was he was feeling like it was choking him from within. So
Yeah.
we just did that. And I was like, afterward, I was like, whoa, breath work. Wow. Okay. I didn't know how to do this 2 months ago, but this whole positive intelligence thing had taught me. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is magic. I need to know more.
Yeah.
So, and I said it, I went back to my coaching pod and I said, hey guys, you need to listen to this. This was crazy. And my teacher actually approached me. He sent me a message afterwards and he said, thank you so much for sharing that
Yeah.
story with us. I sent it to the entire community of this coaching thing. And he was like, oh, thank you so much for sharing this. You are living proof that this works.
Yeah.
So, and I'm honestly, Adam, at this point, my dad is not even aware of what's went on that day. He can
Okay.
hardly remember that afternoon. So, but
Wow.
wow.
I
It was just,
I'm gonna
woof.
go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and say it for the audience because I think we're all feeling it. I'm just glad your father is okay. God bless him.
Thank
And
you.
just amazingly, God bless you for
Mm.
going and sharing that and doing that. Oh my God. The emotional roller coaster
Yeah.
again of hearing that and
Again,
getting a
yeah,
chance to
and
be like,
his lung
I didn't know
has
where that story
completely
was going.
unfolded, and he's
Yeah.
breathing.
Again. Yeah.
So yeah,
Bam, we have like a 2 minute conversation before the podcast started. We didn't know. I didn't know about that. Oh my God. My heart just
yeah,
dropped. It went up, it went down, and then he's okay. So I'm okay. Like, okay, good.
yeah.
So
So we did a
yeah.
little storytelling here, but yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
beautiful. Okay. Well, I'm going to
mhm.
speak on behalf of the community. I'm glad that your father is okay. Send him the entire Coach Adam, Rough Sketch Final Drafts community's blessing that he is good and with us. Yes.
I will
Yes.
definitely do that. I actually gave him a T-shirt for his admission to the hospital. I gave him a
Yeah.
T-shirt with my logo on it. It has my red
Yes.
phoenix, and it
Yeah.
says "Next Level Awaits." And he was like, "Oh, I have to wear it to the hospital. They have to see it, all of them." And he was so cute. He was so proud of it, and it was like, oh, thank God. So yeah.
I love that.
So that phoenix, it definitely resonates with guys and girls. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah.
That's right. We rise from the ashes. That's how it is. God, Coach
Yes,
Cindy,
it
always an
is.
absolute pleasure. Just is. And I would love, and I know the audience would too. I set this timer ahead of time. Fam, I'm happy to share it with you. And we are approaching the last 5 minutes here. So I
Yeah.
want to just shower Coach Cindy with the amount of praise that I can ever hold inside my heart, inside this universe, for her, holding space for her in all of her journey and her growth that she's going through to share with us today. She's got a lot of exciting things coming down the pipeline. I'm going to allow her to reiterate those things in just a moment, um, because obviously sometimes it's hard for people to wheel it back to the beginning of the episode to hear those things. I don't want them to
Hmm.
hear it twice. But I'm going to go ahead and
Yeah.
take a moment and say like and subscribe if you like this conversation. It really helps us out. It's a small thing for you to do. It helps us out a lot. Um,
Yeah.
if you want, find us on our socials. Those will all be down in the description down below. I'm getting better at putting those in. And of course, for season 2, we have new
Hmm.
merch and we've got a new exciting raffle going on as well. If you go onto Instagram, if you like and subscribe and follow us on the Patreon
Ooh.
account, you are now entered to win a wonderful Kindle. And that'll be of, I think, $350 value. I think it's the Scribe one, and that is on there. So if you do, leave us a like down in the comments and
Wow.
say I followed, and you'll be entered to win. And that will be announced on December 15th. So with
Oh,
that
go
being
do it.
said,
Go do it. So many
yeah,
great books out there. You gotta go. Hey, by the way, I do have a planner, a 30-day happiness planner to a happier life
yes,
that fits on a Kindle. So go enter that competition. I will
okay,
throw that in there. If forever who wins it, I will throw that one in there.
deal,
So yeah.
deal, and deal. This is how it just happens organically. Okay, so
Yeah.
let us know of anything that you got going on, where people can find you, and what to expect that is coming out of your exciting world soon.
All right. Well, if you guys want to find me on Instagram, I'm not as pro as Adam is on YouTube, so I haven't done any serious YouTubing yet. But if you want to find me on Instagram, it is absolutely just Next Level Awaits. And that should be very easy to find. If you want to go on my website, it is cindy.dk as Denmark. And you can find different things in there, Enneagram profiling and stuff like that. If you miss anything, please reach out and I will figure out a way to get it to you or figure out how a way to do it for you. Um, absolutely. And there is a book coming out. I am aiming for summer next year because, as I said, I want to do it on my own. I don't want to have ChatGPT write it. And the podcast should be up I'm actually hoping for within the next month because I have that amazing assistant. And Adam is giving me all sorts of good hints here and Riverside and everything. So, yeah. So help me out, figure out a name because I seem to be stuck on that. But yeah, so come join me and join Adam. And I promise that I will bring Adam in multiple times on the podcast as well. I've actually been threatening him with doing lives on Instagram as well because you guys want to see him. And you have been so kind to reach out to me when Adam had been a little quiet for moving. And
Yes.
we love that. So it's so cool that you guys are interacting with us. Please keep it up. So yeah,
Okay.
I'm a little bit everywhere and I will be dusting you guys with positivity as the fairy I am. And I will promise I'll do my best to keep it as colorful and as positive as possible.
Love it. The Positivity Fairy. Okay, with that, we love you all, fam. Thank you so much to Coach Cindy again and again and again. And we'll see you on the next exciting episode of Rough Sketch to Final Draft. Thank you so much, fam. Cheers.